In this session, I'm going to solve the problem number 6 in the part B of a BSc Java lab. Let's go to the problem first. So in the part B, you have the problem number 6 here. And the problem number 6 says that you are supposed to calculate the income tax using remote method invocation. Okay. So what are the things that we are supposed to do is we are supposed to create a Java class called as tax with the method for computing income tax, and then have this class as a servant, create a server program and register this servant in the registry, write a client program and then invoke the remote method on the servant and accept the input interactively. So we are supposed to create the two things. If you are getting confused, there will be two parts here. One is the server, the other one is the client. So client will interactively send the request for computing income tax. Server will compute the value and send the result back to you. So there will be two programs running simultaneously. One is the server program, the other one is the client program. So let's go ahead and let's do the work here. I'm going to go to the NetBeans here and I'm going to say file and new. Okay, so let me go here and file new project. I'll take the project as Java project and Java application, and then I'm going to go to the next. And in the next session, I'm going to go here and I'm going to say this is a tax calculation. So you can do anything, tax calculator. Okay, anything you can say. Let's go ahead and let's finish. Okay, this is already there, and I'm going to go and maybe some other name, a remote tax calculator. That will be better, I think. Remote, any name you can give. So name is not this is the name of the project, remote tax calculator. Let's finish it off, and then you have the remote tax calculator. I'll go to the project here, and I have this remote tax calculator project with me. And again, for those who are not able to get the project on this side, suppose if you are not able to get this project tab here, or if you are not able to get the project tab at this particular location, either it will be here or here. If you're not able to get it, just go to the window here, and in the window you have a project. Keyboard shortcut is Ctrl+1, and you will see that thing here. Okay, by now I have the project open with me, and now go to the project here and let's continue with the work. Now if at all you want to create a client server program, two things you must understand here. One is in order for them to communicate with each other, they have to agree upon something. So both of them have to agree, and in other words, there must be a contract between the server and the client. The server and client must have a contract, and you know how to create a contract. So to create a contract, you use the interface. So interface is a contract. Whoever takes up that contract agrees to implement all the methods which are there inside that contract. Okay. So whether it is a server, or somebody else, whoever is taking that contract has to complete the methods which are there in that. Okay. Whereas class is a blueprint, you are already familiar with those two words. Let's go ahead and let's create an interface first. So let me go here and let me go to my remote calculator. And in this remote calculator, let me right click and say new interface. Remember, I'm not creating a class, I'm creating an interface first. Start with an interface and then the classes. So you right click here, new interface. Suppose during the examination, if this interface is not shown here in this full list, you don't find that Java interface. In that case, what are you going to do? In that case, if it is visible, just click here and go ahead. Suppose for your bad luck, if it is not shown here, in that case, go to others and then you'll get a dialog box. Let me zoom out. The Java is famous because of many things, and we are starting with the plain core Java. So I will go to this core Java, and you will find the Java interface, okay, and click next. You will come to the same location. Look at this location. This is the same location you would have reached by right clicking new and Java interface. You will come to the same location, whether you start from right clicking on it, new, other, and then click on Java and interface, and next you will come to the same location. Okay, this thing, long procedure you are doing it. Suppose for bad luck, if it is not been shown, if it is shown, well, I'm going to go ahead with it. Okay, I take I or interface, and I'm going to say I tax. This is an interface that I'm doing it. So let me finish it off. Okay, that's interface. One important thing that you must do is this interface must extend, okay, out of remote. So remote, you write, okay, remote, you just write remote. The spelling must be proper, and if it is not coming, just type remote, and the remote is available under java.rmi.remote. Sometime when you use the control space here, it will give you that remote. If it is not giving a remote, click on this bulb and then add the import statement java.rmi.remote. And if you are typing it in Notepad, you have to type everything on your own. So NetBeans will add this one, add this line java.rmi.remote, or else you can also add it. You are it's up to you. There is one method. This contract has only one method, and what is that one method? Remember, writing public is absolutely nonsense, because the methods in the interfaces are public by default, but I'm going to write it. Okay, I will use that nonsense here and write the public here. This method is going to return the tax value, which is, you know very well, it will be a floating point number. Some fractions will be there whenever you calculate the tax, so it's going to return double, and I'm going to say this method name is compute tax. Okay, it takes a double amount. So you supply the amount to it, and it's going to do it. Now that will not qualify it to be a contract. Now you have a contract with you. Whoever takes this iTax has to implement this. Now that's not the end. This is the ordinary contract that you have. But now what you want is one part is the server, other part is the client. So you want a contract between two of them, and there can be any problem in between. Then when I say there is any problem, there can be any exceptions that might have been generated during the execution. In that case, you have to say that this method that you are talking about here will throws remote exception. Okay, type remote exception, and remote exception is part of java.rmi. I press enter here, and you get it throws remote exception, but NetBeans has added this line for me, java.rmi.remote exception. It's required, otherwise this contract without this word will not work in a remote scenario. So you need that one. So this interface, I have a contract ready between the client and server. Now let's use them, and let's create the application. This part was not told in the program, but that's required. That's essential. Without that you can't do it. That's why they have not mentioned that. Okay, so now let's come back to what they have said. Create a class called as tax. Let's go ahead and let's create a class. I'm going to go to the project, and within my project you click on the plus sign. If it is coming like this, click on the plus sign, click on the plus sign, click on the plus sign. It's going to expand. Click on this one. This is the package. Right click, new, and Java class. So you create a class, and I'm going to say tax as given in the question. I'm going to say it as tax. Let me finish it off. Now this tax is a ordinary class. Now I want it to be a servant. This is what they said. So there are many ways in which you can create this servant. One of the easiest way to achieve this during the examination is make this as an extension. Okay, so it extends unicast remote object. Okay, it extends unicast remote object. That's not the end. Remember, when you make this thing, then you make this thing, this particular ordinary class which was there, it becomes a servant now. Okay, so that is what they said, it becomes a servant, but then it has to take that contract. Remember, you created a contract here. This contract has to be implemented by this class. So I'm going to say this class that you had here, remote, implements the contract. What was the name of the contract? iTax. So this contract iTax. Okay, so it has to be done, iTax. Okay, so this makes it you have this class as a servant. That is what it said. It must serve the client, so it becomes that. Now there are few things. In order for any class to become servant, an instance of that class has to be generated. So you must create the instance. So you have to provide, whether you like it or not, you have to provide the constructor for it. I'm going to type the constructor. If you click on this, NetBeans will not help you out. In this case, you have to type it. So tax, this is ordinary constructor. Okay, tax, and you do nothing. This don't do anything, but it will say this particular constructor will throws. Remember this word. You remember this always. Remote, not remote. Remote exception. EX. Remote exception. Hey, where is the E there? Remote exception. Okay, that's it. And when you type it here, NetBeans has already added import java.rmi.remote exception. This particular class must have this method. There you don't need to write super and sub and other things. Just that method, the constructor, ordinary constructor, that is the default constructor, should throw an exception, because in case it's not able to create an object, it has to be notified to the other side, because you know very well there are two things over here. One is the server, the other one is the client, and the client is doing something. Now if something happens, this person has to be notified. If you notify it here, others won't care. They will say that okay, it's not happening, who cares? Client is interested. So this has to float down to the client and say that something went wrong on the server. Otherwise the client will not come to know. That is why it's a remote exception. Something happened on the remote side, not on your side. Okay, that done. Now I said that this particular class will take up that contract, and if you take up this contract, you are supposed to implement this method. That is what is the agreement. Okay, so let us fulfill that agreement. I will use the option from the NetBeans, and I strongly recommend that you allow the NetBeans to generate the method for you. So just click on this bulb, and then it says implement all the abstract method. Implement that method. So it will add annotation override, and it will make this particular class. You see this? It will make this class remote exception. It's going to do that thing. Okay, everything is done. Now you are supposed to do the calculation. Okay, so just do the income tax calculation here. This is just ordinary. You don't need to type too many things over here. Let me take a double, and I'm going to say tax. Okay, now I'm going to start with the if the amount that you are getting, if this amount that you are getting, if the amount is less than 5 lakhs rupees. Now I am using the income tax calculation. This is plan B of income tax calculation. Roughly that value I am using it. So if it is less than this is 5,000, this is 50,000, this is 5 lakhs. Hope this is proper now. This is 5,050. Okay, if it is less than or equal to, let me make it as less than or equal to. If it is less than or equal to, remember you don't need to copy this part, you just use your logic. If it is less than 10, you do something. Okay, that's it. Okay. So tax is 0. They don't charge anything. In the plan B, there is no charge up to 5 lakhs. Exemption is there. Else I'm going to go and fill the other part. I'll just copy this. Remember, what I'm doing is I'm just copying this if statement. You can write it, but during the examination, if you copy paste it, it is much faster. So else if it is less than 7 lakhs, up to 7 lakhs, you are supposed to calculate the tax here. Now remember, for 5 lakhs there is no tax. So from this amount, 7 lakhs up to 7 lakhs, whatever is excess of 5 lakhs, whatever that is excess of 5 lakhs, for that you have to calculate the tax as 5%. Now I'm just using some value here, 0.5%. so if you want, you say 0.05%. so what did I do over here is, so if this is the scale, and if your annual salary is between 0, that means you don't earn anything, and up to 5 lakhs, that means this is annual. For 12 months, if you earn salary up to 5 lakhs, let me make it as 5 lakhs L, okay, 5 lakhs, 0 tax. And if you have a tax up to 7 lakhs, for this, so this is L here, 7 lakhs, let me make it as 7 lakhs, this range, that is 2 lakhs rupees, that this 2 lakhs rupees, what you may earn 5 lakhs 50,000, you may earn 5 lakhs 70,000, you may have 6 lakhs 50,000, anything within this, whatever amount you are coming, whatever amount you are getting. Suppose if you are earning 6 lakhs, then what is the difference? You are earning 1 lakh extra. Excess is 1 lakh. For this 1 lakh, you are charging, they will charge you 5%. Okay, suppose if you are earning 6 lakhs 75,000, so this is 1,75,000 excess. Above 5 lakhs, up to 5 lakhs, they will not charge you anything. Above 5 lakhs, they will charge you 0.5%. So that is what I am doing. So up to, I will deduct, if your salary is, suppose if your salary is 6 lakhs, what is that I am supposed to do? I will deduct 5 lakhs from 6 lakhs. So what is that I am going to get? The difference is 1 lakh. So this difference, for 1 lakh, you will be charged with the 0.5%. So I deduct 50, that is 5 lakhs from your net amount, and for that I add 0.5%, and that will be the tax. Now again I'm going to copy this, else if, I'll copy this whole thing. Remember, else if, it is already there, and you know, Control C, Control V always work. This also works in Notepad also. So if it is more than 7 lakhs and less than 12 lakhs, up to 12 lakhs, okay, so up to 12 lakhs, what is the salary? How do you calculate it? Now again, the story goes like this. If you don't earn anything, 0, then you don't have to pay anything to government. Suppose if you earn up to 5 lakhs, including that 5 lakhs, if your salary is 5 lakhs, let me make it as 5 lakhs, you are not charged, 0 is your tax. But from here to here, so from 5 to 7 lakhs, if you are in this band, then for this difference only, they will charge you 0.5, that is 5%. I'll just make it as 5%. From 7 lakhs to 12 lakhs band here, so if you are doing this, if your salary is 8 lakhs, 9 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 10.5 lakhs, 11 lakhs, whatever, up to 12 lakhs, in this range, they will charge you 10%. Okay, so suppose your salary is 9 lakh rupees, how much you are supposed to pay? Okay, so for the first 5 lakhs, you are not paying anything. For 5 to 7 lakhs, you will pay 5%. What is this 5 to 7 lakhs? What is the difference? 2 lakhs. What is the 5% of 2 lakhs? So 2 lakhs 5% is 10,000 rupees. You will pay 10,000 rupees here. For this amount, you will pay 10,000. Okay, and what is remaining? Your salary is 9 lakhs. What is remaining? 7 to 9. What is 7 to 9? Difference is 9 minus 7 is 2 lakh rupees. For this 2 lakh rupees, you are going to be charged 10%. What is 10% of 2 lakhs is 20,000 rupees. So what is your net tax? Net tax is 10,000. This is 10k from here, 10k in this band. and 20k in this band. Totally you will be charged 30k. Okay, so you get that thing. So this is how the tax is calculated. Now what is that I am supposed to do it is I am going to deduct 7 lakhs from here. So if your salary is 9 lakhs, I am going to deduct 7 lakhs from here. What is the difference? 2 lakhs. For this 2 lakhs, I am going to calculate 10%. That is correct. And for this band, I already have 10k. So 10k, that is 10,000 plus 2 lakhs, 10% of 2 lakhs. This is what I am going to do. So let's go ahead and let me do that. So initially for the first band, you will pay 10. This is 100, 1000. I hope this is 10,000. 10,000 you are paying for the 5 to 7 band, and for the 7 to 9 band or whatever it is, you will get whatever amount you are getting. For that you add 10. Okay, done. Last part, else. Even if you can say else if and you can complicate the life. I'm not going to complicate the life as such. So else for any tax, I'm going to make it as 20% tax. Okay, just this is not the case in the income tax department, but I will reduce it down. Okay, so what is it? So if you're not earning anything, the government says you don't pay any tax. So suppose your salary is 0, you don't pay any tax. Suppose if you go up to 5 lakhs, government says don't pay any tax. Up to 7 lakhs, if your salary is 7 lakhs, for this 2 lakhs rupees, they say you pay 10,000 rupees. Okay. For 9 to 12, for 7 to 12 lakhs in this band, what is the difference here? This is 5 lakhs rupees difference. 12 minus 7 is 5 lakh rupees. For this 5 lakhs rupees, 10% you have to add. So what is the amount that you are getting it? Okay. What is 10% of that? You calculate the 10% of this. And whatever, suppose your salary is 15 lakhs. So what is it? From 12 to 15, what is this 12 to 15? 3 lakhs rupees. Here you have 3 lakhs rupees. For this 3 lakhs rupees, you will pay 20% tax. So here you will pay 20% tax. From 7 to 12 lakhs, this is 5 lakhs rupees. You are going to pay 10% for that 5 lakhs rupees. For 5 to 7, this band, this is 2 lakh rupees. For this 2 lakhs rupees, you will pay 0.5%, that is 10,000. Now let me calculate this one. Suppose if you didn't get it, suppose what is the difference between 12 minus 7? I will do it with the calculator. Windows always comes with the calculator. 12 minus 7, what is this one? 5 lakhs into 0.1, that is 10%. What is it? It is 50,000. You are going to pay 50,000 rupees. That is, you know very well. 10% of your 5 lakhs rupees is 50,000 rupees. Okay, so let's start with this. This is because let me put that thing. Okay, this is I think this is 5,000. I think then it is 50,000. Let's say. Okay, this is 10,000, 50,000. This is 100,000, 10,000. Okay. So what is this I am doing? Suppose you having here from 0 to 5 lakhs. From 0 to 5 lakhs, you don't pay the tax is 0. I don't have to add that 0. Forget it. From 5 to 7, you are adding 10,000. From 7 to 12, this band, you are adding 50,000. Okay. And if your salary is 15,000 here, 15 lakhs here, this 3 difference is there, about 12 lakhs, whatever amount you are getting. For that, let me assume that you are paying 20% as the tax. Okay, so I'm going to fix that thing. So above 12,000, you are going to get the tax as 20%. So that is what I have done. Now I don't have to type this one during the examination. You know very well, 10,000 plus 50,000 is 60,000. I'm going to just make it as 60,000 and just fix it there. So else this is 15,000. Remember this method, returns something, and NetBeans expects you, or Java in particular, expects you to return something. What is that I'm going to return? I'm going to return the tax value that I have computed. Remember this tax that I have computed. This is outside the if statement. This is the if statement. Outside this if statement, I have done it. Now, if you really want to format it, right click and then say format. NetBeans will neatly format it. So there is a marks for formatting. If you go up, I think you go for the valuation. So in your case, writing and execution, they don't give you marks for formatting, and then in that case, don't format it. For BCA student, they have to format. They will get some marks for formatting it. In your case, they have put an exception. You type any way you like it. Execute the program. That's the end of it. So you got the implementation. So according to the contract, whoever takes up this contract is supposed to implement it, and the tax said I am going to implement that contract, and the tax has now implemented it. So you are the second part. I'm supposed to go here. The second part is over. You created a servant. Now create a server program. So let's create a server program and register it in the registry. So let's go ahead to the project. And in the project, this is our project. Right click on it, new, and I'm going to create a Java class. So let's create a Java class, and I'm going to say tax server for this. Tax server as the name. So this is the name I gave, tax server. This is the name I gave for this class, tax server. Finish it off. Now this tax server has one method, that is static void main. So you can type it in NetBeans. If you want to quickly get static void main is so what you have, public static void main, PSVM. Don't type anything after this, just type PSVM, press tab, and NetBeans will do it. I'll show you one more time. So you write public p static void main, press tab, immediately press tab. NetBeans will do the needful thing. Otherwise, if you are in the notepad, don't do that. If notepad will not do that thing for you. Okay, so NetBeans will do it, and you can save time with this kind of trick, because at the end execution matters most. Okay, so with that done, let's create a few things there. First thing, I need this object. Now in order to do anything, I need this servant object. So let me create that servant object. So what is my object here? The server object is this tax. So let's go here and let's get this tax here. Let's say tax. I'll call it as tx equal to new tax. Okay, that done. Tax. Okay, done. And the NetBeans is not happy with it. Even the Java is also not happy with it, because you said when you created this tax, you said the default constructor actually throws a remote exception. If it throws a remote exception, whoever creates an instance of this must handle that remote exception, and that is why the NetBeans, if you click on this bulb, it says it is throwing remote exception, handle it. Now I'm not going to handle it now. I'm going to handle it in the next line, because I'm going to tell you why it is going to happen. Okay, so just ignore that as of now. Don't go here and then say implement. Just leave one line and get it. Now what's the next thing that you are supposed to do is Java has something called as a registry. Registry is like your book. You have book is there. This principal or your father has a diary. In that diary they write important things. Okay, so you have the page number or date, or let's assume that in the page number you write that thing. Now I have to go to a blank page number in that diary, not my diary, the diary that is maintained by Java, and I have to write that this particular tax server, whatever I'm doing it is there. Okay, and I have to give a name, tax server or anything. So this is there. So I have to first find that page number. So in other words, I have to locate this book first. Okay, get this book, and then in this book I have to write my entry in this book. So first I have to get this register. You have a attendance register, In that attendance register, your class will be there. In that I have to put the attendance. If you go marks register will be there. In the marks register, BCA or BSc classes will be there. Corresponding in that you have to make an entry. So first you have to locate that register. So let's first locate that registry, and this is not any your attendance register or the marks register. It is the registry of Java. So I'm going to say registry, okay, control space it. The NetBeans will say, are you talking about an interface called as the registry? Yes, it is available in the java.rmi. I press enter. NetBeans will add the import statement for me in a proper way. I create a variable rj, and I'm going to say not new. Remember, you are not creating your registry. Suppose your marks is not proper. Suppose if you miss some marks, your marks is not properly added. That does not mean that you will go and give a new book to the principal and or your HOD and say that, okay, now write the thing. He already has that registry. You locate that registry. You tell your he or she, your HOD, that my marks are entered wrongly. Please find that marks register and make the changes. So they will locate this registry first, locate this book first, and then make the entry. So how do I locate this? So do I have a locate? Let me say locate, and what you have, locate registry. Wow. So you notice it's very simple. Java people have given good name here, locate registry. Okay, locate registry dot. Now create an entry. Remember, when you joined your your BCA or BSc, first thing they will take a blank page in that registry, marks registry or attendance registry. In that, first thing that they are going to do is they will add the new entry. Your name will be added here. This is first time. Next time they want to write it again and again. So first time they will write it. So in other words, they will create a new entry for you. In the same way, I have located my registry. I got the registry. In that I have to create my entry here. So that is what I am doing it. So I am going to say dot, and I am going to say create a registry. Now you can give a name and you can complicate your life. I'm going to say create this entry, and you will write your register number. In this case, I'm going to write a port number. Now I will not go in depth into what is port number, because then I have to explain about the networking and so on and so forth. It's going to be a terrible thing. It is like you write your register number, but only one thing is already some students are there, so you can't write a register number of your choice. In the same way, by default up to 20,000, most of the ports are already assigned a specific task, like the port number 80 is for web server, okay, and many other 234 and so on. There are many ports which are already being used. Don't use those ports, even though the numbers are very small. Don't go up to 20,000. I mean, don't use the port number below 20,000, because it's already fixed. Go beyond 20,000 and most of the ports will be open for you, and your antivirus software and other things, they don't generally bother about those ports. Okay, so I'm going to say 22,000. This is 220, 2,200. This is correct, I suppose. 22,000. Done. So the question now arises is, what if you have the number 480 is written here? You may execute the program, you may not execute the program. It is kind of a risky thing that it may work, it may not work, and if it is not working, you really don't know why it is not working. Okay, Windows will not tell you that their port and so on and so forth. Windows Defender will come and say that this program is doing some malicious thing. I will stop this program altogether. Okay, then you don't know why Windows did that thing. So unnecessary problem. Don't invite unnecessary problem definitely during the examination. So you try to solve and go home. Okay, now I said that Java is not happy with the exception handling. So even NetBeans is telling you that you are not handling the exception. So what should I do? I will go to the second exception. Here also that bulb has come. Here also that bulb has come. I will go to the second bulb, click on it, and then say surround the block with the try catch. Okay, this last option. So click on this bulb and click on surround this block with the try catch. NetBeans will do the needful things for you. Okay, that's a good thing. Now if you are using notepad, then you type this try and catch and waste your time, and you may succeed in completing the program, or you most preferably you won't complete the program and you are there at the mercy of your external examiner. Okay, that's why you better you get some help and then use this is called a smart way of working. So you have hard working, and then there is something called as smart working. So you work smart and get the things done quickly. Once it is done, you have the registry with you now. So what you got here is not the registry. Your HOD has got now your marks registry. If this is working fine, your HOD has got your marks registry. In that he or she has to make the entry. So how do I make that? So your register number has to be bound to that. How do I do that? So your registry is RG now, RG, and I'm going to say bind. Okay, so so when you have a lot of things over here, so let's go, let me zoom it out. I'm going to say bind. You are supposed to give the name and the object. So you press enter. Now what the NetBeans will do is, NetBeans will do some Adhika Prasanga here, and it will actually bind. So it is true for every location. It will actually bind this object, registry itself. You are not binding registry, you are binding the tags. So very careful. Even though NetBeans do good things most of the time, sometimes it will do some Adhika Prasanga, and you are in much bigger trouble. So during the examination, just see what NetBeans has done. This is not the one. You are supposed to use TX. This is the servant. So who is the servant? You took pain and creating this computer tax and all these things. This is the one that has to serve, not the registry. Registry don't know how to calculate the tax. So if you ask the registry calculate tax, it will say what you are talking about. I don't know anything about tax. So here you are supposed to give a name. How you write your name? You are supposed to write the name. So I'm going to say tax server without the space. I'm going to do it. So don't unnecessarily put the tax. So this is it. And the Java is not happy, and the Java will say that if you start doing binding it may not bind. You know what is binding? You know, you put a favicol and bind them together, and most of the time, even if you use a quick fix and other things, it will not bind. Okay, you know very well, it will not stick together. So Java knows very well sometimes things won't go. That is why I am going to say this problem may be there. It may be there, or access exception may be there. So two exception might have been generated. So I am going to say add this clause. Add this clause. So you have one catch here. Add two more catches. So add this and then say add the clause. That's it. So you've done it. Now you notice that the add already bound exception is already there, and so on and so forth. So this problem might appear to you. Now this problem is there. This is there because it must be in the proper order. So you notice that exception is already caught. Okay. So I am going to say this exception, you are supposed to catch it. This exception is already caught. So what is that thing? When you learn about exception, you know that the mother of all exception is this one word, exception. This is the mother of all exception. If you handle this exception, you don't need to handle all the other exceptions. I'm going to talk about it slightly later. So this particular exception, the third exception, is already handled. So you don't, the Java just says that, okay, it is already there. I know that that exception is there. Don't tell me again and again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this last part and I'm going to say delete it. Okay, it's already handled. So well and good. So this last part, it said if you put it here and if you go to this bulb, it says it's already handled. This catch is already known to Java. Don't again and again don't tell. Once you tell Java that that exception is there, Java knows it. So it says don't tell me again and again. So I said okay, if you don't want me to tell many times, I'm going to pull out that line. Anyhow, I have not added that. NetBeans has added it. Now some information for those who are using Notepad. Suppose if you are in love with the notepad, and when you type like this, the things are not working, and or suppose if you forget which exception that you are supposed to handle, in that case what you are supposed to do. Remember, I have already told you, exception is the mother of all the exception. So what you are going to do, I'm going to just cut this one. So this is only for the people who are using notepad. If you don't know, handle this exception ex, any variable you can give exception ex, and don't do anything. Anyhow, you can't do anything. Okay, you can't fix those exceptions. If you write this one, this exception, this word exception, this particular object is the mother of all the exception. So if you know the mother, you don't have to go and find the others. So you know the mother, that's it, and the rest will be automatically handled. This is for people who are with notepad, or when you are writing, before the exam you are supposed to write it, and you just forgot which is the exception I am supposed to. Just handle exception, this, handle it, rest is assured for you. I'm going to undo the thing because I know NetBeans has done it for me. So it is did I okay, I know that NetBeans has done it for me, so there is nothing much to be done. NetBeans is good. Now everything is good, but I want to, some visual clue has to be given to me. I know whether the server has started or stopped or anything. So I'm going to say yes out and press tab, and I'm going to say server started. This is for me, it is not otherwise you don't know whether the server has started or not. Okay, you really don't know whether it is running or whether your server is running or not. How do you know that? If you come to this line, that means you have located the registry, you have bound your object. Okay, so is it true? I'm going to just save it. Okay, and I'm going to run this program. Remember, running this program is, this is your server, you have to run. I told you there are two parts in this program. One is this server part, the other one is the client part. You have to run both of them. So you cannot run the project here. This won't run. If you run the project, only one part will run. So run the server. So you have this tax server, right click and then say run this file. Can you run this file? The answer is yes. The class that has static void main can execute on itself. So that is why I said there must be static void main. So right click and run this server. I don't know whether it's going to run or not. If there is no exception, this is what you are going to see. The server has started. What does that mean? Server is you are able to locate the registry. You are able to write your object onto it, and it will listen. Now very important thing, this program will run unconditionally. So if you keep the machine on, it will run, the server will run on its own. Stop the server if you have any error, or if you have made any changes. Stop the server and rerun it. Don't run the server with the errors. Okay, so if you notice here, it is running. There is one mark here, red color box is there, that says you can stop this server. Click on this and stop this server. Your program is not over. You have completed one part of the server, and you notice that now it is gone, it is not running. Okay, you have done the 50% of your work. You have created the servlet, you have created the server program, and it is running. Now the last part is the client part. So let's go and to the project, and let's create the last class for us. Right click on it, new, and I'm going to create a Java class. Done. And I'm going to say that this is tax client, TAXCLIENT, tax client. Done with it, finish it off. Okay, and this has to run. Remember, like the server, this has to run. And if at all you want to run something, what you need is a static public static void main PSVM. Press tab and you get it. If you are in the notepad, type it. Okay, you will just take a lot of time, and instead of yes, small case yes, you will type capital S, or instead of this V, you will type capital V, and you will struggle. Okay, unnecessarily you will struggle during the examination, and you can avoid that thing. Okay, Let's go with the other part. Now, what are the things that we are supposed to do? Suppose the first thing is you have to go to the registry. Now, first thing, you have this server and the client story is there. So you have the server and you have the client. What is the client is supposed to? First it has to go to the server. It must know where is the server. Where is the server? How do I know that? Where is the server? I know very well that there is a registry. In that registry, in this book, in this page number, some page number, the entry is there. Okay, so locate this page number. First locate this registry and then go to this page number and get the things done. Okay, so let's go and let's do that thing. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to locate the registry. So how do you get the registry? registry registry, and control space it if you are in the NetBeans. The NetBeans will say, are you talking about RMI registry? Yes, I'm talking about RMI registry, and it will do the full thing to me. That done, I'm going to call this as RG is equal to, again you are not writing new here, you have to locate that registry. That registry is already there with this one, so you say locate, and if you notice that locate registry, you can double click on it to speed up the work. So locate the registry, and what is that? Locate the registry, you are supposed to do it dot, you are not going to create, so yeah, it is already there, already has created. Get the registry. So remember, who has created the registry? By the way, server has already created, went to the registry, it has already created its name. You don't go and suppose in your attendance register, your name is already there. Again you go and add the namespace, your name will be repeated. Now if you have attendance shortage, what you are supposed to do is go to the attendance register, find your roll number, and then do something. You find it, you get your roll number, not you create it again. Okay, so if it is not there, you create it. If it is already there, you get it. Okay, so get, where is it? In that register number, you are writing your register number, that register number must be there. And most of you will be tempted to write, I wrote 22,000 here, so I'm going to write 22,000. Please don't do that thing. You will not, even if you are using notepad, it's not going to cost you much to select this and use Control C and Control V. Remember this particular word. You use Control C and Control V because during the examination you will reduce 1 0 here and the things will not work from that point. So one extra 0 is there. This port number is 22,000. This port number is 2,200. So you will have that problem. So always go here, whether you like it or not, whether you are cursing me or not. You just copy this Control C and get it over here and just paste it. Control V. You know for 100% that, by the way, you select all the zeros here. When you selecting here only, if you lose 1 0, I can't help you. So if you do this, you know for sure that you have the proper one. Now again you have to use the try catch. I'm going to defer that try catch for some time. Now I need the object. Okay, now I need this tax object. Remember, this tax object is already bound here. I have to get that thing. Okay, so remember there is this tax object. Let me tell you two things here. You have on the server, you have the tax object. On the client, it is supposed to call that tax object. Now there is this tax server is there. Okay, client is not bothered with that. Client is only interested in this contract. Now client says that I am going to talk to anyone who is able to fulfill my need. And where is my need? My need is written in this particular interface. So the contract, whoever has taken that contract, I can interact with them. So for the client, what is important is this contract, not the tax object. So I am not interested in the tax object. I am interested in this contract. This contract has that method. Remember, that is why we are using it. So I am going to say to here, I'm going to say here, I tax here, not the tax object. Remember, tax is something that you wrote, or you wrote all the implementation in the tax object. I am not least bothered about it. I am interested in that contract. I'll take that contract and then go ahead with it. So let's go and let's do that thing. This is I tax. This is IT. Let me put I tax. I'll call it as IT equal to, go to the registry, RG is the registry, and then you say, what is that you are going to do? You are going to say, okay, so look up for this particular thing, okay, so look up for my name. So that's what you say. You got the attendance register, look up for your name. So somebody has written your name. Remember, it's going to return a remote object. It's not going to return your contract. So it's going to return a remote object. So look up for what? Look up for the name that you gave here. When you bound this tax, what was the name you gave? Use this name. I'm again going to select this, Control C. When you bound this particular thing, you gave the name, Control C, and carefully paste it over here and Control V, and then put the semicolon. Now remember, this particular method will return a remote object, not your contract. Then what you are supposed to, I hope you know what is typecasting. You have to typecast it. If you don't know, allow the NetBeans to do it. Click here and then you say cast it to the iTax. So this is typecasting. Hope you've done it even in your C program. Now there are few things. What are the few things? You are supposed to handle the remote exception. Anything can happen when you try to connect to a remote server. Anything can happen. Things may go around. Things may go down at any time. Okay, so exception may be there, and in the Java you are supposed to handle the exception. So let me go to and click on the second exception here. Click, and then I'm going to say here. Let me click on here. Second one, and I'm going to say surround the block with the try catch. Surround this whole block with the try catch. Surround the block with the try catch. Do it, and all done. So it's going to handle a remote exception and so on. Again, for not bound exception, you are supposed to handle it. Suppose you are typing it in Notepad, then handle only the exception. The mother, you handle the mother, rest it will take care. So you don't need to bother about the others. It will take care. So you got the tax object with you. Now some extra thing that you are supposed to do is, according to them, you are supposed to interactively get the inputs from the user. That means you have to interactively do something. So let's do that thing. You have to get some input from the user. How do you get the input from the user? I am generally using this scanner object. I will use SENNER from the Java utilities. You know very well. In the Java utilities you have this one. Press enter, and you have to import all this one. If you are using the NetBeans, there is a shortcut .rmi.star. If you put star here, your teacher will tell you, if you are using Notepad, that you just put star here. It will import all of them, but it will not import this locate registry. You have to do java.rmi.registry.locate star again. So you will have to struggle a lot if you are using Notepad. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's go to this one. Scanner SC is equal to new scanner. So you are doing the scanner object, and I'm going to take the input from the my system.in. I take the input. This is I need it to get the read. You have this scanf statement in your C program. Now that is same as here we call it as scanner. Okay. And interactively means you will continuously give the number and until you are tired. So I will take one character and say until the user says yes, I want more, and I want one more, I want one more, and so on. Until the user say I don't want, I'm fed up with it. Until he says he or she says no, until their answer is no, I will keep on getting the income tax, calculate the income tax. So by default the answer is yes. Until the user says no, that is I'm going to calculate it. Now I'm going to take one more variable, double salary. So this will be the salary of the user, for which I have to calculate the income tax. Okay, done. So I'm going to use continuously now. So while the answer, you will get this answer is equal to yes. So until, where is that thing gone? Okay, until the user says that yes you calculate, yes you calculate, yes you calculate, I am going to repeatedly calculate it. And how do I do that thing is, at the end I'm going to ask yes out, and I'm going to ask do you want to continue? Are you fed up, or do you still want to continue? So do you want to continue? I'm going to say do you want to continue? Answer is yes or no. Okay, and the question mark and this. Okay, I will use this ln. I'm not happy with that ln because it's going to give the take the cursor to the next line. I don't want that thing to be done, and I'm going to read the answer. Okay, instead of print ln. Print ln means that slash n in your C program. Have you studied this slash n? That it will not add. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to get the answer. ANS is, so again I have this scanner object. SC is my scanner object. SC dot next line. Okay, I'm going to get this next line. Remember, it's going to return a string and you have a character here. Okay, first the user may type it in capital. User may type a Y like this or N like this. I am handling the small case. Okay, or some users are there, you see they put space and then type Y, space then type N like this. They do it. So if they have put spaces, I am going to trim them. What is the meaning of saying trim? Removing the spaces from the right side, left side and right side. So that is called trimming. You go to the your salon and you trim. You know what is the trimming. So that is, they cut it. So in this case, what is being cut? The spaces which are surrounding. If you have this given word, the spaces before and spaces after will be trimmed. So I'm going to say trim. Okay, and I'm going to convert. If they have typed it in uppercase, I'm going to convert it into lowercase. Suppose if I'm expecting them to type it in small case like Y or N, if they type it in capital, I convert it. Now this is a string, and you know very well in the string, you know, string is like an array. Okay, so if they type yes, or if the output is yes, YES, I am not interested in the other two letters. I want only the first letter. Okay, I want the first character. What is this character? Character at array, it is the 0th position. This is the first position. This is the second position. Even if let me print it here. Even if the user types no, if the user types no, I am not interested in the second character. I want the character at the location 0. This is array 0. I want the character at the 0th location, and I can decide on that. Okay, so I am going to go over here and I am going to put a dot, and I am going to say character at the 0th location. The first character, this location. This is a character. It's going to return a character, not the string. It will remove the first character and give it to me. So as long as the user says yes, I'm going to continue and take the input. Now coming to what is that I'm going to do. So this loop will continue until you press something that is not Y. Okay, so let's go yes out and say enter annual salary amount. Okay, amount. Okay, again I am not going to use print line. This will take you to the next line. I don't slash n to come there, so it will come in the straight line. Okay, and I am going to get this one. So this is SAL is equal to SC dot next double. I took it as double. You see double, so I'm reading it as double. Now one important thing, very critical thing. This is there for almost all programming language. If you are reading a number like this, then if you are reading a string, you will end up in a trouble. For example, somebody may write my salary is 15,000, and that's not the end. After this they will type the enter sign. After this they will type this enter sign. This 15,000 will be given to this variable, that is the salary. Okay, enter is not a number, so the enter will be there in the buffer. It will be there in the buffer. Now because you are reading a line here or a text here. Enter is nothing but, if you have studied ASCII character, this is character number 13 or 12. Character number 13 is enter. It's a character. So you know what is a string? Is a set of characters. So string thinks that this is it. So it will read this enter sign, and the enter sign will be stored. So what you may say, so what is if you do run this program now, it will indefinitely run. You can't come out of this while loop. Okay, so you, after typing this number, you press enter, it will simply run again and again, because it will not read that. Okay, so what is the solution? Solution is, you have typed here for this line, you have typed, when you are running it, not now, when you are running the program, you have typed some number here, and what is the next thing that you are doing is, you press enter sign here. This number whatever you have typed will be given to this variable. What will happen to that? This enter sign is there in the buffer. Just read it, just get rid of this. What is the best way of get rid of it? Just read that enter sign, leave it. So one extra reading. So this part you must do it. So I'm going to remove this 1 2 3 4, which is not required. So after this, just remember that, just read next line. Okay, just read. If you are this, you are doing it. Suppose if you are reading a number and then you are reading a text, just after the number, just read that line. Get rid of, this is like get rid of that enter sign. Okay, that's it. Okay, this is some workaround. Sometimes you have to do some jugaad to get the things working. So this is the kind of thing. Okay, let's type S out, and I'm going to say income tax is, again I'm going to say, where is my object? IT is my object. This is the one contract between the server. The server was here, the client was here, the client was here, and there was this contract, and this contract knows how to compute. And let's go to that contract. Where is this thing? Where is, I'm supposed to write it here. Okay, so let's go here, and let me put plus here, and IT is my object. You see this IT, I got it from my lookup. I looked up and I got the IT, and then I'm going to say compute tax. And this time NetBeans will help you out, and this time it is not doing adhika prasanga. It will take that value and salary value and do the calculation. So that's it. Oh my god, you have completed the entire program. Let's keep our finger crossed and let's run. So how do you run it? You run the server first, then the client, not the client first and then the server. Server will first come and the client will come next. And how do you do it? Right click and run. Don't run the project. It is right click and run. So go to the server part here. Go to the server part. Go anywhere. This is your server. So go to this server, tax server. Right click and then say run the code. Where is this? Run this file. I'm going to do it. Okay, run, and you must get this server has started. Server started, or whatever English I think you are studying English for 2 years, so you must know better English than me. I studied English for only 1 year. Okay, so in that case, you know English. Let's go to the tax part here. And that is, this is the tax client part, not the tax part. The client part here, right click and run this client. Can you run this client? The answer is yes, because there is static void main. As long as you have a static void main in any class, you can run it directly. Right click and then run this file. Done. Okay, hopefully the things are there. Enter the, you notice that, enter the, it is coming here, enter the total salary. Suppose if my salary is 2,50,000, this is 250, 2,500, 25,000, 2,50,000 is my salary. I press enter, there is no tax. Wow, I got it. So then this work will come. So this, do you want to continue? So this work, this, do you want to continue? I said yes. Why? Press enter, and then you have to say okay, my salary is 6 lakhs rupees. So this is 600, this is 6,000, 60,000, 6 lakhs. Okay, done. Press enter, it is 5,000 rupees. Remember, if it is 7 lakhs rupees, I said it is 10,000 rupees. Half of it is 5,000 rupees. And if you want to try on your own, I will stop the video now by pressing En. I do not want to continue, and my program will stop here. Now if you get excited, one very important thing, your client part has there were two parts in your program. You had this server part and you had this client part. You have closed the client part, the server is still running. Okay, so remember that. So come back to the server, this is your server. There is this stop button. If you notice that server is still running, it is still running. So come back to the server part here and then say stop the server. So click on this button. Server has stopped. Now you have completed everything. Thank you for viewing this. We will stop this program now.